Hello, I'm Selena Hart. And if you're hearing this on May 13th, trust that you didn't arrive here by accident. There are days when the universe doesn't speak through loud signs or dramatic shifts, but through subtle movements, just enough to stir something quiet inside you. Today is one of those days for Scorpio. Not a day to act in haste, but a day to recognize with honesty what's really moving within you. Lately, you may have felt pulled in different directions. Part of you wanting to break free, another part needing something steady to hold on to. This isn't contradiction. It's a sign you're standing at a meaningful crossroads. And today, instead of rushing into any decision, you're being invited to observe not the world around you, but yourself, how you respond, how you hold your center, and how you choose stillness over reaction when silence speaks louder than words. I'll walk with you through this energy, not to control it, but to help you remember that Scorpio's power doesn't come from impulsive motion. It comes from stillness, from knowing when to wait, from standing firm when everything else tries to pull you off balance. Today, the moon is activating your sixth house, the area of your chart that governs health, routines, and the seemingly ordinary rituals that quietly shape the course of your life. For some, this transit might feel uneventful, even dull. But if you're paying close attention, Scorpio, you'll notice this is where some of the deepest recalibrations are happening now. The things you've been brushing off, your sleep schedule, your diet, your morning rituals, the way you manage your space. These are not minor details. They're the invisible scaffolding that supports your energy field, your focus, your resilience. If you've been feeling physically off, more tired than usual, mentally foggy, or emotionally overstimulated, look to the small things. Have you been nourishing your body in a way that reflects the version of yourself you're becoming? Are your days built on systems that truly support your mental clarity and emotional peace? Or are you still operating from patterns that belong to an older version of you? This lunar influence is here to help you realign, not by forcing you into dramatic changes, but by guiding you to return to what grounds you, cleaning your home, adjusting your sleep, drinking more water. These may seem insignificant, but right now, they are forms of devotion. They're the practical expressions of self-respect. You don't need to overhaul everything. What's being asked is simpler, but also more intimate. To notice what's no longer sustainable and to tend to it with care. When you clear physical clutter, you also clear mental static. When you choose rest over noise, you reclaim authority over your nervous system. This isn't avoidance, it's preparation. Because what's coming next requires steadiness, not speed. And steadiness doesn't happen by chance. It's built, choice by choice, through the structure you create around your energy. So if part of you is longing for clarity or power right now, know that it may not come from a breakthrough. It may come from something as quiet as changing how your morning begins, or how you end your day, or how gently you speak to your body when it asks for something simple. These are the anchors. They don't look spiritual, but they are, because they protect your energy from being scattered, from being consumed by emotional drama or external demands that were never yours to carry in the first place. Emotionally, today may open a quiet doorway into something unresolved, not because you failed to heal, but because healing is not a one-time event. For Scorpio, whose emotional landscape runs deeper than most, it's common to revisit old wounds not as a step backward, but as a deeper integration of something long buried. You may notice a wave of sadness, irritation, or even subtle resentment rise up, seemingly out of nowhere. It might be tied to a memory you thought was long settled or a dynamic you believed you'd outgrown. But if it surfaces now, it's not here to punish you. It's here because you're finally strong enough to meet it differently. Amen. This is not regression. This is refinement. You're being invited to sit with the emotion from a place that wasn't available to you before, a place with more clarity, more distance, more sovereignty. The pain may still sting, but this time you're not reacting from it. You're observing it. You're able to feel it fully without letting it consume your present moment or distort your perspective. That's the mark of real growth. Not that the pain disappears, but that it no longer steers the ship. If tears come, let them. If your chest tightens or your breath shortens, don't rush to escape it. Let the feeling move through the way weather rolls across a quiet sky. temporary, honest, but never permanent. The more you allow it to pass without resistance, the more energy you free up for what's truly waiting to arrive in your life. Because emotional residue takes space. And what wants to come in? Clarity, connection, purpose, needs room. This moment is not asking you to explain or resolve anything. It's asking you to be present enough not to flinch, to remember that what feels like a revisit is often the final clearing. And as you move through it gently and consciously, you may find that you're not who you were the last time this pain surfaced. You're steadier now. You have language for what used to feel chaotic. You know how to stay with yourself in ways you couldn't before. So let the emotion come, let it speak, let it pass, and trust, not that it will never return, but that when it does, you'll be even more prepared to hold it with compassion and then let it go. Financially, today isn't a time for bold moves or high stakes decisions. Even if you've been considering a new investment, a career pivot, or a major purchase, the energy doesn't support dramatic leaps right now. Instead, what's being asked of you is something quieter, more strategic, a return to the basics. This is a good moment to sit down and review the systems that hold your financial life together. The small subscriptions you've forgotten to cancel, the daily spending habits that no longer serve you, the minor leaks in your budget that add up over time. These may seem too insignificant to matter, but today, they are where your power lies. For Scorpio, a sign that values control and precision, this kind of financial housekeeping is more than a task. It's an act of reclaiming agency. When you take time to comb through the details, not with anxiety, but with intention, you send a clear message to yourself and to the universe. I am ready to take full responsibility for what I hold. This isn't about scarcity, it's about discernment. It's about making sure your resources are aligned with who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Small course corrections made today can prevent larger problems down the line. Canceling a service you no longer use, adjusting your savings goals, or even renegotiating a bill might seem like small wins, but they add up. And more importantly, they restore a sense of internal order, the kind that allows you to meet the future not from a place of financial fear, but from clarity and control. This isn't the day to prove anything. It's the day to organize, to prepare, and to lay down the structure that can support bigger opportunities when they arrive. Because they will arrive. And when they do, you'll want to be ready, steady, and free of the small burdens that once distracted you from your power. Professionally, today is best approached with a practical mindset rather than a visionary one. It's not the moment to chase recognition or launch something ambitious, but rather to tend to the systems, routines, and responsibilities that keep your work life functioning behind the scenes. For Scorpio, who often thrives in deep, transformative roles, this might feel less exciting, but that doesn't make it less important. What you refine now, even if no one notices, lays the foundation for more sustainable success later. This is a good day to check in with how your tasks are organized, how your time is spent, and whether your current workflow actually supports your long-term goals, or if it's just keeping you busy. Look for inefficiencies. Are you overextending yourself in areas that yield little return? Are you delaying important but unglamorous work that will actually reduce stress later? These are the kinds of honest assessments that will serve you well today. If you work with others, be mindful of where you might be picking up the slack without acknowledgement. Scorpio is naturally loyal, but loyalty shouldn't mean self-sacrifice. Take stock of where your energy is being used and whether it's being respected. Quiet boundaries drawn today, even internally, can lead to greater balance over time. It's not about making drastic career shifts. It's about optimizing what already exists. Clarify your responsibilities, streamline communication, reset your expectations with others if needed, because when future opportunities arise, and they will, you'll want to step into them from a place of grounded preparation, not burnout masked as dedication. Let today be a reminder that power doesn't always look like expansion. Sometimes it looks like structure. And when Scorpio brings structure to their focus, they don't just get through the work, they elevate it. In a realm of relationships, today offers a quiet but meaningful opportunity to notice what's unspoken. You may find that emotional undercurrents are more active than the surface would suggest. Subtle shifts in tone, body language, or silence between words may say more than any direct conversation. For Scorpio, who naturally senses the energy beneath the surface, this is familiar terrain. But today, it's less about solving emotional puzzles and more about observing your own responses within them. If you're in a relationship, pay attention to the small ways connection is either being nurtured or neglected. Are there daily habits, gestures, words, assumptions that are being repeated out of routine rather than presence? Are you truly listening or just filling space with your own thoughts and reactions? This is a moment to recalibrate the emotional dynamic, not through confrontation, but through quiet awareness. A simple act of listening more deeply or offering one honest, grounded truth without defensiveness can shift the tone of a relationship more than any grand romantic gesture. For those who are single or navigating uncertainty in matters of the heart, today is a good time to reflect on patterns, not to judge yourself, but to ask gently, what kind of energy am I attracting and what part of me is calling it in? You're being invited to move beyond old emotional contracts, relationships that once felt magnetic but left you emptied or unseen. And there's wisdom in that history, but you don't have to keep repeating it. Today favors emotional maturity over intensity. It encourages emotional housekeeping, cleaning up the internal stories you're telling about love, trust, and what you're worthy of. And while nothing dramatic may unfold externally, these quiet recalibrations inside you are shaping the kind of connection you'll allow in moving forward. So whether you're partnered or not, use today to come back to emotional clarity. Not the kind that needs answers from someone else, but the kind that emerges when you sit honestly with yourself and ask, what kind of connection feels true now? What am I no longer willing to carry in silence? And what part of me is finally ready to be seen without fear and without disguise? Physically, today's energies are encouraging you to tune in more closely to your body, not from a place of discipline or perfectionism, but from genuine care. The moon's emphasis on your sixth house is a reminder that health isn't built in moments of crisis. It's shaped through small, consistent acts of attention. If you've been pushing through fatigue, ignoring minor discomforts, or treating rest as something to earn, this is your signal to recalibrate. For Scorpio, whose inner intensity often runs quietly in the background, the body can become a storage space for unprocessed emotion, headaches, muscle tightness, digestive changes. These may not be random. They may be signals that your body has been carrying more than it should. Today is not about rushing to fix everything, but about listening. What part of your body feels neglected? What needs are being silenced for the sake of staying productive? Even a few intentional minutes, stretching, deep breathing, drinking more water, walking without a destination can help reestablish that inner dialogue. You may also feel more sensitive to stimulants, screens, or chaotic environments today. If so, honor that. Choose calm over overstimulation. Allow yourself to rest, not just physically, but energetically. This kind of restoration is quiet, but it strengthens your core. It allows your immune system to settle, your nervous system to rebalance, and your emotional energy to ground. Ultimately, this is not a day for extremes, not in diet, not in exercise, not in routine. It's a day to return gently to your physical self with the same presence you bring to your emotional and spiritual growth, because when your body feels heard, it becomes a stronger vessel for everything else you're trying to hold. As we close today's message, I want to gently remind you, Scorpio, that not every day is meant to deliver breakthroughs, answers, or resolutions. Some days, like this one, are here to help you notice. To notice the quiet adjustments your spirit is asking for. To notice the patterns that no longer serve you, the emotions that rise without warning, the fatigue that speaks of needs long delayed. These aren't problems to fix. They're invitations to return to yourself, fully, quietly, and without the pressure to perform. You are someone who feels life at deeper levels than most. You sense what others ignore. And that depth isn't a burden, it's a gift. But even gifts need structure, even intuition needs rest, and even transformation requires patience. Today has offered you the chance to look at your routines, your relationships, your finances, your health, not to judge them, but to bring awareness into the spaces that have been operating on autopilot. That awareness alone is powerful. It's what allows you to shift direction with intention rather than out of survival. So give yourself permission to move with care. Let stillness become a strength, not a void. And remember, presence isn't passive. It's one of the most active, courageous things you can choose, especially when the world is demanding noise. You don't need to match that chaos. You only need to meet yourself where you truly are. Thank you for being here today. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to carry it with you into your breath, your choices, and your pace. And if your heart feels called to share, know that your words might be the very thing someone else needs to hear. Until next time, stay grounded, stay gentle, and above all, stay true to the quiet wisdom that's always been inside you.